the bench. But good to see Agus back in defense. He's going to help out a lot. Eddie Pope strong there, too. And up front, of course, all very excited to see for the first time McBride and Lassiter get a chance to start in a full international. And Lassiter's the key guy there because he has played in Costa Rica and he knows these opponents. Now, the Costa Rican team make only 2 changes, and this is one of them. Barante's the goalkeeper who played in the 1-0 loss to Guatemala, but he did not play against Costa Rica. The danger folks for Costa Rica are very much in the midfield and up front, and particularly Paulo Wanchope, the young player, one of the finest players we've seen in the qualifiers, scored a goal, set up another against the United States. Tremendous speed down the left side. I'll be interested to see if he plays all the way up front or more in the midfield.
Costa Rica outplayed the U.S. 13 days ago. It is a U.S. home match. The U.S. in white. Costa Rica in black comes back to Hermedio Barantes, who is in goal today for Costa Rica. It is a brilliant afternoon. A tad windy, temperature in the low 60s, and a great day as Lawless, who will be sweeping today, gets ahead to it. A great day and a great atmosphere as the U.S. has the home advantage in terms of emotion. Offside as McBride made his run down the left side. Brian McBride gets his first start and his 7th cap today. He's up front with Roy Lassiter. With Winalda on the bench, Joe Maxmore. Winalda not even dressed, of course. He's under the suspension, 2 yellow cards. And Joe Maxmore available as a substitute. Number 3, Luis Marin, central defender for Costa Rica. 13, Javier Delgado, the wingback. Yaphet Soto, a young star who burned the U.S. last year on a friendly, number 10. Wearing that very important number 10 shirt with Lawless. Steve Sampson's decision to have Alexi Lawless at sweeper today. Wilmer Lopez, number 6, on the throw. Friedel got a hand to it to punch it to the edge of the box. And put out by Kobe Jones.
A very tough early chance for Friedel as the sun is right in his eyes. He's having trouble with it right now.
Lopez again, a long throw. Knotted on and put out by Agus and lifted out by Ernie Stewart. The shadows will be a problem. The sun will be a problem as we go through this afternoon. The shadow, you saw Friedel struggling with it there, will creep across the field to the top of your television screen. Friedel's 2nd consecutive start. Played very well in the match in the loss down in Costa Rica. Ernie Stewart, Brian McBride, and a throw-in for the U.S. The road to World Cup 98. As we continue, U.S. Soccer and ESPN would like to thank Pepsi and all the other U.S. Soccer sponsors for allowing today's game action to be brought to you commercial-free. John Hart, number 6. Ernie Stewart, touched by Solis, number 8. Hart, and now Stewart back on it. John Hart, the captain. Solis, Wanchope, the dangerous player in the midfield for Costa Rica, the number 9. Soto, number 10. Back to Wanchope. Pope gets the foot in. Lawless. Claudio Reyna with an important role today in the midfield wins that ball. Kobe Jones into the sunlight. Looking for Lassiter. Lassiter over the top.
Well, that's the kind of attack the U.S. hopes to pull off a lot today. Lassiter's got terrific speed and got behind the defense, but what a great ball in from Kobe Jones. An early ball over the top of the defense. It runs a little bit far for Lassiter, but nonetheless, he unhesitatingly cranks it on goal, and it just goes wide.
A very known quantity to Costa Rica. Roy Lassiter played 3 professional years for the Alajuela club, one of the major clubs in Costa Rica.
Well, you know, the Costa Rican challenge today, Bob, is that really they need a point, that they don't have to win this game because they have a relatively easy final home game against Trinidad. The United States does not want to rely on their last game to go down there and have to go down and defeat Guatemala or get a draw with Guatemala.
That game is in El Salvador, but still, it truly would be the road match. And the atmosphere today, very much a home crowd for the U.S., something they have not had in the prior 2 qualifiers. A little bit better in Richmond, but it was very much a pro-Guatemalan crowd at RFK Stadium when this qualification began for the U.S. Reyna moves it back. Our referee is Mexican today, Francisco Borja. Both referee assistants also from Mexico. McBride, flicked on. Barantes has it.
McBride has also good assets in the air. He's very good at getting up. You saw that good header and goal was deflected in. Barantes with the save. But look at the ball come across, all the way across, and you'll see a good jump here over the top. You see how well he gets up, McBride, and that's another strength that he brings to the USA attack.
Wallace in the air. Hart. There's Delgado, but an elbow foul against Costa Rica.
It's going to be interesting, Bob, to see if Costa Rica played with 3 players up front. As we look at the referees here from Mexico.
That's how they came out on their home game. Toby Jones, number 13. Jones, tackled away. Back on it now. There's Claudio Reyna. Claudio Reyna tries to cross back on it. Put out. Oscar Ramirez. And a nice tackle by Jones to stay on that play. And still connects with the captain, Ronald Gonzalez, and he commits the foul to Toby Jones.
Toby Jones and Claudio Reyna are very important players in the one-on-one situation. That's what the U.S. wants to see. They want to see more one-on-one matchups with Toby Jones because they think they can exploit them. As you see the foul coming up here by Jones, he very obviously tripped the player up here, having stripped the ball and then lost it.
The U.S. game very much one of going wide as well, and Jones and Stewart with their speed on the outside able to thread that ball wide. Brad Friedel playing with Columbus in the Major League Soccer second half of the season made a big difference for that club. Casey Keller is here. He is on the bench. McBride in the air looking for Lassiter, settled by Wilmer Lopez. Lassiter just giving him a little bit of trouble. Nice ball by Soto. Wanchope. Polo Cesar Wanchope. Back to Soto. Returns it to Wanchope. Wallace cuts the ball off. Corner kick. With that brutal sun now.
Tough decision there. It looked like Wallace had done the smart thing and cleared him off Wanchope, but as it went over the line, I think it touched Wallace, and hence the corner kick.
Hernan Medford will take the corner.
Not a well-taken corner, and John Hawk's in a good position to clear it away. As you mentioned there, the Costa Rica is seeming to play with 3 up front, which means, of course, the U.S. will have to play with 4 players at the back, because you always want to have that extra player in defense.
Soto, watched by Mike Bird, taken away by Hart. We play on. Well, Friedel has gone to the cap to give him a little bit of an assistance against the sun, which is very bright. Will be getting lower in the sky. And very tough if he's looking at something from a near side touchline.
Well, there McBride again. McBride has won all 3 of his headers so far. 1 near goal and 2 out front to try to set up other players.
Wilmer Lopez to throw. Mike Burns in the air, touched by Reyna, and wins that ball. As we said at the top, that's what he has to do in the midfield, and a nice ball looking for a streaking Ernie Stewart. Wanchope cut off by Jeff Agus. Some of that intensity you talked about.
Yeah, well, that's just what we've hoped to get from Jeff Agus. That's much better. Already they are not allowing the speedy front runners of Costa Rica to get behind them.
Goose did not play the last match. Got out a yellow card suspension. The card that put him over the top was a questionable one, certainly, from the Trinidad match in Richmond. He had been misidentified, but he did nonetheless get the card, and so he sat out the last match. Toby Jones for Reyna. Now McBride. Oh, and a nice ball for Stewart. U.S. throw-in.
Tremendous ball from Stewart. To Stewart, rather, from McBride. McBride showing very well early on, coming deep into the midfield at times to help out.
And we'll see if the U.S. tries to put that ball up high. No, not against Barantes in the sun. They play it short for Stewart. Reyna tackled away. Yaphet Soto on the ball, number 10. Looking for Juan Chope. Pope with him step for step and gets a foot to it. And return to Soto in a foot race with Lawless. Friedel is there, and finally it rolls over the end line for the corner kick. Lawless got caught there in a foot race with a faster player.
Yeah, that's what I don't think they want to see. You just see the ball is left for Juan Chope, and he had gotten a little bit of room to run in, and as much as Lawless challenges him, he still got through.
Medford's corner out to the 6, where Lawless had no trouble with it. Reyna tries to win that ball. Marine, number 3. Looking for Juan Chope.
Boy, looking offside, too, but referee gave nothing there. So we see the danger already to the U.S., the danger of these wide, swift players, Medford in particular, and Juan Chope on the left and right flanks. The U.S. got to be concerned about them.
Long ball by Lawless. Lopez. As Ramirez puts it wide. Nice play by Egas. He takes a push for Juan Chope. Stewart now controls that ball all the way back to Brad Friedel. Egas is clotheslined at midfield.
Yeah, and I can't understand, as neither can Jeff, why a foul wasn't given there. He was clearly whacked from behind as he had won the ball, did not expect the challenge. Here you see him. He intercepted nicely there with the sun. Difficult for him. Now look at the challenge from the back. It looks like Juan Chope did get a touch on the ball on the second look, but he certainly got Egas in the lower back as well.
Hart for Egas. The first 24-hour all-sports network has arrived. ESPN News. To get ESPN News, call your local cable operator or satellite program provider. ESPN News, 24 hours a day. Scores, news, highlights, and analysis. Friedel for McBride. Lassiter looking at the 18. Eddie Pope comes through to win that ball and nicely gets it to Kobe Jones, but Kobe couldn't control it.
Defenders stepping up better now. That's Kobe Jones in your picture, but Eddie Pope made the good run up to step in and try to play the ball to Jones, who's now switched over to the left wing, and Ernie Stewart has switched to the right wing.
A win puts the U.S. through. A tie, of course, helps them, but means they would need a draw or another close loss scenario in their final match. The easy answer for the U.S. today, win at home and put the issue to rest. Egas now makes a run. Watched by Solis, number 8. John Hart's the captain, number 6. Stewart's ball. Lifted out by the captain, Gonzalez, number 4. Wallace. Ernie Stewart. And it went over the touchline in the 13th minute. Once again, a win will put the U.S. through to the final round of 6. The tie today would mean they would still be alive. They could be down with a tie or a close loss of less than 4 goals to Guatemala and also advance. The loss today means they must get a point on the road against Guatemala. Against Guatemala to be played in El Salvador. Free kick now for Costa Rica. Brad Friedel organizes the defense in the 14th minute. Medford, Hernan Medford, number 17 near the ball. Also Ronaldo Gonzalez or Gomez, number 6.
That was a pretty harmless effort, and it's disappointing because they've looked offense-minded, I have to say, that Costa Rica has certainly not gone into a shell, but they've gone up to try to find Hernan Medford and Juan Chope on their side. If you look at the Costa Rican bench, and Valdir Vieira, known as Badu.
And Badu watching a short for the U.S. Goes down just outside the area, and we play on. Nice tackle there by Claudio Reyna, who has a word about the officiating.
Yeah, well, the officiating is not comforting so far. We're seeing some of the same problems that we saw in the match against Guatemala. Fouls not being given.
The polite term would be questionable. The objective turn sometimes would be wretched. There has been some very poor officiating, and it sounds like you're a homer when you say it, but videotape doesn't lie, especially the home match with Guatemala. It's simply incredible officiating that CONCACAF has provided so far as Lassiter in a challenge and Stewart's last challenge.
Yeah, I mean, Stewart punches the ball away, and obviously he's obstructed at least, if not fouled. And again, referee says nothing. Now he has given a free kick. Sort of a makeup call, frankly, on the far side to either August or Harks over this one.
Harks lifting it in with the right foot, looking for McBride, not it down, punched down by Benavides. Nice effort. And McBride controls it back to Mike Burns, getting a start today with a left-footed onside lead. Ernie Stewart, far post, over the head of Benavides, and over the head also of Roy Lassiter. The U.S. looking forward. That has been their motto as a team, offensive-minded under Coach Steve Sampson. Hernan Medford, number 17. Juan with the cross across the goal mouth, and a foul whistled against Costa Rica by Senor Borja.
Well, again, U.S. in trouble with players getting behind. A very dangerous cross coming over, and only through the fact that there was a foul by Solis coming over the back of Mike Burns, that could have been the first goal. But the U.S. has to be worried about losing its depth in the defense. That is not having a deep player at all times to cover up the ball that goes through.
Well, Costa Rica is fast. They can counterattack, and they've got speed, as we mentioned, at various positions. Let's check in with Ty Keogh.
One of the big difficulties for the U.S. defenders, there's been quite a bit of rain here in the Bay Area over the last several days, and when they're trying to deal with the Costa Rican speed, sometimes they're losing their footing. I walked the field before the game. It's very marshy in the center.
Thanks, Ty. Goose with that drop, knocked down and controlled by Delgado, number 13, but back on it, the U.S. as Eddie Pope came up. Reyna with a lead. There's Ernie Stewart with the cross, loose in front at the 6th, and in McBride.
And there he is, anticipating where that ball might come loose, as all great scorers do. They seem to have an extra sense of knowing where a loose ball is going to drop. Look, he's in a perfect position here for the missed touch in the defense, and he hammers it home. McBride, the opportunist, scores a goal in his first full international for the United States.
His second goal as a member of the national team, and the USA leads it 1-0.
But a great ball from Stewart, but got to give credit to Claudio Reyna, Bob, who switched that whole play from the left side all the way across to the right side to give Stewart the chance to have the ball in the first place.
Goose chases this ball back. Jeff Agoos. Critical early goal, but again, Costa Rica, a very dangerous offensive team, able to counterattack. But the decision to start McBride up front has paid a dividend early on for the U.S. And there were questions about this lineup. Friedel, his second straight start in goal.
And there's McBride again, Bob. He's now 5 for 5 on headed challenges.
Kobe Jones now, far post. Dangerously settled in front, and Barantes has to punch it away. Absolute disorganization on the back line for Costa Rica. Medford in the midfield. Costa Rica reeling at this moment.
Well, you got to wonder what he had in mind in touching that ball back. Marine putting his goalkeeper in a terrible pickle.
Ryan McBride plays with Columbus. Major League Soccer unassisted in the 17th minute.
Well, he's a wonderful kid. He's still a kid in many ways. Loves to play. There's a handball. They've got to give that handball. Incredible.
Medford gets that. Vegas now just got a piece of the ball, and they call that one, but not the prior handball. So the mystery of CONCACAF officiating deepens.
Yeah, well, if they look to his angle, then Egas tipped him up. You'll see it very close here. He turns away. There's the turn, and eventually he falls over, but it did not look like a trip to Egas. The referee's view was that it was a trip.
Eddie Pope with the left foot clears it out of the box, but Costa Rica back on it. Solis sent in and harmlessly wide by Ronaldo Gomez, number 16.
Well, there's never been any question, Bob, that Costa Rica from the kickoff was going to attack today, but now they're down a goal. There's all the more reason for them to attack. As I said at the top, a point here, a draw for them is quite useful. It's not disaster for the U.S., as you pointed out, but the U.S. really wants to wrap this thing up here in front of a supportive home crowd.
Yaphet Soto, number 10, gets past Mike Burns, a very dangerous player. To the 18, where very coolly Goose had it, but Solis is back on it with his left foot over the top. Mauricio Solis.
Well, Johnny Hark's in deep trouble there, stripped of the ball coming away, and clearly nobody told him that there was a player coming on him. As you see, he turns right into a player, and Solis just fires this over the top. That was a great chance for Costa Rica. Solis really almost finding that upper corner. A very intelligent shot for him on a quick opportunity. Go for that upper near corner. It can sometimes surprise the goalkeeper. There's McBride again. If you're counting at home, that's 6 out of 6.
Has not lost a challenge upstairs at all. Reyna with a ball. Solis with a header. As Wallace retreated on that ball. Now he's in trouble and has to put it out. Got caught in no man's land there with Medford and Wanchope, the two most dangerous players coming right down the pike out.
Yeah, well, Eddie Pope is the other central defender. He and Lalas are playing the center. And Pope's got more speed. You'd have to say in some ways it might be wiser to have Pope as the deeper player because of his speed, but he just doesn't have the experience yet.
Wilmer Lopez. Lalas in the air there. Back to Lopez. Sends it back in. Nodded on by Soto.
Wow, and I think a free kick given there because the offside was given. I'm sorry. Yes, it was a ball floated in, and that's why the flag went up. Nobody challenged him, but he's incredibly wide open. I mean, you just can't take risks like that and hope the flag goes up. But Yaphet Soto had a great chance.
Soto ever so dangerous. Ty.
Left side for the Costa Ricans. He's been a real handful for Mike Burns. The guy's got acceleration and a very good first touch. And Mike Burns needs to step it up because a lot of the danger of the Costa Rican attack is coming from this side.
There you go. There's Soto as he makes that turn and has a throw-in working against Burns.
Well, he's got terrific speed, as Ty said. He also has a very good change of pace, and more importantly, he has great skill on the ball. So I think the right side of midfield for the U.S. is going to have to check back and give Burnsy a help here. They do not want him isolated one-on-one excessively.
USA leading Costa Rica 1-0-0. World Cup qualifying soccer on ESPN2. We are at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, California. The U.S. an early goal by Brian McBride. Foul against Costa Rica. A win puts the USA through. A tie keeps them alive. And that man has the only goal of the match so far. On the restart, right into Barantes.
Nice attempts by Reyna to bend one in there. Look at this good anticipation here by Egas. Doesn't quite win it. But Medford comes up to challenge. And the ball's coming out of the sun there. Egas has got a lot of problems to worry about with the speed, but also with the ball coming out of the sun.
Gomez, and Lawless takes it away. Stewart's on the ball. The U.S. with the lead, and the aggressive play we talked about at the top of our telecast. Challenging this Costa Rican side. They were outplayed, the U.S. was, 13 days ago, and a 2-1 loss. Their first loss in this round of qualification. Vegas.
Well, he finally lost one.
Yeah. But Lassiter's there, knotted down. There's Kobe Jones. Tackled there from behind by Gonzalez. Right after we're done, we've got NHL hockey. The Flyers have the first place Hartford Whalers. Lindros back on the lineup. Jeff Sanderson pacing Hartford right after we're finished at 7 Eastern.
The Costa Rican defense, the back four, has never been persuasive to me, Bob. I felt that they've had some weaknesses, and we've seen them already.
McBride throw. Looking for Lallen. Lopez doesn't realize he's got company in the person of Kobe Jones. Nice backfield by Kobe, but right to Marin, number 3, the central defender. And the U.S. back on it. Hart's challenging him now. That's Gomez.
Well, a bad mistake between Hartz and Stewart. They both tried to go for it.
Hernan Medford tried to cross, and Pope was there to shut him down.
Well, this is the one thing the U.S. has got to worry about, because they're playing with 4 defenders, U.S., but they're very flat. So look at this. One ball here beats all 4 players. See, it's through everybody. And look at this speedy Medford running on from the outside, but a good recovery run by Eddie Pope.
Soto lifted out by John Hartz as he went near post. And another corner. John Hartz talking passionately yesterday about the need for the U.S. public to come out in numbers and support its team. Friedel went to that cap early on against the Sun. Soto, the in-swinger again. Dangerously bounced down. Marina's on it. Delgado watched by McBride, who got a foot hit.
Oh, surprising that Friedel isn't coming out for some of these high balls. They look like they're within his range. And that one was not coming out of the Sun. Some of the difficulty for the U.S. has got to be in midfield, Bob, because the back four can be exposed for pace. So the midfield players have got to cut down the supply of passes by Costa Rica.
Jones with the ball. Ferrantes out with Lassiter chasing him. He vaulted by Lassiter.
Boy, that was a great attempt, though, because that's where Lassiter is so strong. He just can put him up front and let him run.
Reyna wins that. Lassiter's on it. Tackled away, but Reyna wins it back, and there is Gomez to come back. Lopez, number 6. Reyna again. Claudio having a very good match, winning those balls and controlling. Toby Jones back to Mike Burns, looking for McBride up the right side.
Yeah, so he needs to drop that ball behind the defense. He had a chance to expose the defense there, and he played it short to McBride's feet, where McBride likes the ball, but over the top might have been a better option.
Jones back to Burns off the throw-in the 27th minute. USA on the Brian McBride goal, leading it 1-0. And needing 3 points today to go through. Actually 2, but it's 3 for the win, 1 for the draw. Hart puts it away from Medford, but now Hernan Medford on the ball. And a whistle and a handball as Ramirez came over to play, and a quick restart for the U.S., and they'll bring it back and start it one more time. Well, the quick restart against Trinidad and Tobago by John Hart led to the only goal of that match. A restart so quick, Trinidad Television missed the goal. See that at halftime. A recap of what the U.S. has done so far, what all the teams have done. Stewart for McBride, batted out by the defense.
What an unfortunate run by McBride. He ran right into where the space was. It was a super run by him, but Stewart's ball was just a little over the top. This is a little bit of a problem for the U.S. in that the quality of the final cross-in is just a little bit off.
Reyna, Eddie Pope, who has emerged in this qualification series as a new defensive stalwart for this U.S. national team. Nice ball by Stewart, left it for Hart. Brian McBride.
Well, look at this ball float in. McBride makes the inside run. He's in a great position, but the ball is just floated over his head. The ball had been just dropped a little bit for him. I think that would have been buried. I've seen him score a number of goals like that in MLS this season.
Well, Cesar Wanchope, number 9. Ramirez. Oh, nice ball by Jeff Agus to take it away from Hernan Medford, who would have gone in on Friedel. Hart for Agus.
Tremendous play by Agus because it was 1 against 2 there. Again, some problems with the U.S. in midfield defense.
Delgado floats it in. Wanchope, nice ball. Eddie Pope lets it bound down and then puts a left foot to it. Stewart bends off Ramirez, and now Kobe Jones starts the attack. There is Gonzalez, number 4 for Costa Rica. Reyna fighting for everything within his sight today.
Yeah, the intensity of the U.S. is what we'd hope to see, because the game in Costa Rica, there were a number of players who just simply did not pick up their game.
That ball is in, and it's Medford, number 17, as the U.S. gets back defensively. Gomez. Harks is there. And a good ball by Harks to McBride. Lassiter making a run. Roy Lassiter right on Benitez.
Terrific play by McBride. Superb play out of the back to McBride, showing himself and then setting Lassiter up. That's the kind of chance that Lassiter normally puts away.
Offside.
Incredible miss by Lassiter for a player of his record in the past. And look at, on the right of your screen, look how open also McBride is. Wide open in front. If Lassiter could have slipped that one over to him, he had an empty net.
Led the Major League Soccer scoring parade his first season, the league's first season, on loan to Genoa, trying to help Genoa gain promotion back to Serie A, the top division in Italy. Reyna wins another ball. Solis looking for Medford. Agus is with him again. Wallace watching. Gomez made a run up the middle. Hernan Medford.
Oh, Medford is really the danger player up front today, without much question. He is, he's 28 years old, but he's got terrific speed, and he's clearly giving fits to the defenders for the U.S. who simply do not have his speed.
Medford set up the first goal in the first meeting between these teams as McBride lays it back to Reyna. Lassiter, Reyna looking for short onside. Now a whistle and a foul against the U.S.
Well, Stewart fighting for the ball in there committed a foul, but that's not a bad sign to see him battling in there to get that ball. Terrific interpassing by the U.S. all the way forward, though. Wonderful stuff by Hart, Stewart, and McBride, as well as Claudio Reyna.
There was a palpable sense of emotion and purpose among these American players in the last day or so. They realize what's at stake. They have to qualify for France, and to do that, they have to get to the last round. And they don't want it to come down to the last match in Central America against Guatemala, a match to be played in El Salvador, but essentially a Guatemalan atmosphere because of the proximity there. They want to settle matters today. They have the lead right now.
And Costa Rica is certainly the most dangerous team on the attack that they have played in this qualifying matches so far, more so than Guatemala, and certainly more so than Trinidad. So the U.S. cannot rely on a one-goal lead.
Marin, number 3. There's Medford again with Goose with him. Harks watches. Gomez, number 16. McBride challenging. Medford. Yaphet Soto, age 20, wearing the number 10 shirt. Burns wins that one. We've got Basketball Tuesday, Minnesota and Rhode Island. Bobby Jackson pacing the Golden Gophers. URI led by Tyson Wheeler. Live at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Reyna again. Harks. Goose makes a run. He's got loads of room up the left side. And a good call. This is offside. Good vision, but...
Well, Roy Lassiter, a little impatient here, running past the last defender. Remember, he just missed a chance to score. He knows that, and he wants to compensate fast.
Friedel at the edge of the box. And a whistle. Did he leave the box? Let's see.
Well, he dropped the ball as soon as he got to the line.
And he's gone. And the U.S. will play a man short. A red card. Brad Friedel now will seek some help from the referee's assistant, but if the keeper leaves the box and handles the ball, it's a red card.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And there is obvious emotion.
Well, this is a very tough call. Friedel came to catch him. I thought he should have come to kick his spear myself, but he saw a player there right in front of him. He didn't grab it here, but from that angle, it's very hard to see what exactly happened. He's obviously over the line. He releases it. Can we see from this angle? Well, he's right there. It looks like he had stepped over the line. His body speed, the speed coming off, carried him over, and he couldn't stop it. So they will bring on Casey Keller, I would think.
And Pete Sampson's team will play a man down. Now the referee will ask for a clarification. And we will see if that card will stand, but the card has been shown.
I mean, this was not a deliberate intent to take advantage of the ball. This was not to take advantage of the other hand.
Now we saw Casey Keller in a road match at Trinidad get a yellow in a similar situation. And now let's see. Taikio.
Steve Benson is incensed here. A very extreme decision by the referee. The discussion is whether it should be a yellow card or a red card. If it's deliberate, if he's already outside of the box, and then he deliberately puts his hand on the ball, yes, it's a red card. But when it's his momentum that carried him out, it's probably then only a yellow card penalty, and that was the discussion between the referee and the referee's assistant, is whether in fact it was deliberate and a decision made deliberately by Brad Friedel as opposed to just his momentum carrying him outside the box.
Well, from the crowd, thanks, Ty, the crowd around the official, our referee, Senor Borja, it looks like the red has been rescinded, and that is a first, in my experience. And here will come a yellow.
I think the tie is exactly on the mark here. He ran out, he caught the ball in his hands at the line, then he dropped it, and he gets a yellow card for handling the ball outside the area, but it was not a deliberate handball the way we've seen many times keepers rushing out to block a player coming in on goal. So the problem is, I think, for Costa Rica, Bob, is that they saw the red card go up, so naturally they feel badly done by here, but I think the decision is the correct one in the end.
As we said, Keller got a yellow in a similar circumstance earlier in qualification. And Badu Vieira, who's been around the block a few times, Coach Roy Lassiter in the Costa Rican First Division, sits back and observes the moment. It'll be a free kick right at the edge of the box, so the U.S. is not out of danger by any stretch of the imagination, but Friedel stays in the match, and we are 11 aside still.
They want to be sure they get back here for the referee. This is just the kind of time where he'll take out another yellow to keep the Costa Ricans a bit less unhappy.
Where will the line be? Who will be in it? McBride is there. Friedel positioning it. Solis is near the ball. Number 8. Will it be Gomez? It is Gomez. Wide, and the U.S. can resume breathing.
Boy, that was a terrific shot, I'll tell you. That was right on target. That was off target, but with terrific speed.
Well, Ronaldo Caligiuri are missing this match. Yellow card suspension. Friedel, you can add to this menu. Of course, it's fairly academic if they win this match, the Americans, because the last match will not have any import. No any suspension. What is important, though, the tally of yellow cards carries through to the next round of qualification. The round of 6 teams playing home and home, 10 matches. John Harkes for Ernie Stewart. Nice ball. Offside. I again, Lassiter ahead of the play.
Yeah, well, Lassiter has really got to compose himself at the moment. He's not helping because he's running in blindly into this offside trap. And Costa Rica, the defense, give them credit. They've figured this out, and they're pulling him off every time.
Mauricio Solis with a ball cut off by Mike Burns. Juan Chope looking, but Lallis puts it ahead. It was midway through 1996, Seamus, that the official term was changed from linesman to referee's assistant.
Yes,
and the emphasis being for referees to get some help on plays such as just the one we saw a few moments ago.
And the linesperson, or the assistant referee, as you say, did the right thing. He put the flag up to say, I saw this. And the referee came up with the red card before really doing an in-depth consultation with it. And after that happened, the consultation happened, the referee quite rightly decided that this was not an intentional situation, calling for the red card, but the yellow was appropriate. Anyway.
McBride hangs in well, and Hart's now with the ball, looking again for the front-running Roy Lassiter.
Lassiter so dangerous, found a great spot that time. Hartsey couldn't quite get it to him.
Agus, Lassiter lays it back. Marina with the ball. Stewart challenging, tackled away by Marine, but McBride is on it. Another offside ball for Lassiter. No goal.
Lassiter will get a yellow card for this. It's a yellow card for Lassiter for shooting the ball after the whistle had gone. Now look at this. Tackle here, well won. And look at his offside. He's way the heck, he is the foot offside.
U.S. on the attack. Kobe Jones with Marine, shoulder to shoulder. Jones goes down. That foul is called outside the box. Jones looking to do the quick restart. Costa Rica not allowing it.
Luis Marine losing his composure a little bit here. Costa Rica got to be careful. A lot of pushing and shoving here. Both of them going at each other. But in the end, obviously, the pull down by Marine. And he's upset with the linesman. This is where the U.S. can capitalize. With 4 minutes to go in the half. And an emotional Costa Rican team vulnerable at the back.
Reina will take it. Lallis squarely on the 6 to use his height in the air. Reina. Lallis. Oh, Dave Berantes. The set piece worked, but right at Berantes. Corner kick.
Well, it was amazing that Lachie Lallis got free because he's being held so much, but he makes a nice run into the space, and they do a pretty poor job of defending it. As I said, they're not in great shape at the moment, the Costa Rican defense. Emotionally, this is the time for the U.S. to take advantage.
Jeff Agus will put his patented left foot to work. Lallis is sprinting through the area. Over his head. Back to Jeff Agus, who puts it right back in. Berantes punches it away from Lallis. Chope looks to start the counterattack. Hart's challenging. Foul against Hart. In Chope exchange a few words. You see that. Lifted shoe by Chope. And Brian McBride trying to cool off his captain. This is what this game means. Everything. Weak country.
This is Hart going in for the header here. Gets well to it, but Berantes does exactly what he should do, which is to come out and punch it away. He's not going to risk catching the ball there. There's going to be a yellow card here, I think, to John Hart. Yep. And Hartsey with I thought a really crunching tackle over there, and I don't know if we'll see it again, but there was a foul perhaps afterwards. But he knows how important it is to break up play in midfield, because that was the problem in Costa Rica. They didn't do it enough.
Third card of the match, all 3 against the U.S. Hart's in the air there. Burns lifts it out of trouble. Solis. Reina. Kobe Jones. Now Roy Lassiter. Clearly onside, with Reina coming down the middle and McBride across the way. This is Ernie Stewart in the bright sunlight of the bay. Mike Burns takes the cross from Goose. Hart for Burns, pushing up on a run now. get a put down. Jones fighting. And lifted out by Lopez. Tremendous action in this first half. Controversy, emotion, and a U.S. lead to this point.
Well, Eddie Pope with a gamble there, coming forward trying to intercept that loss. But Alexi Lalas in your picture playing a good covering role here as the game goes on. He's getting better at it. Saves Eddie Pope. And the goalkeeper, by the way, is down. The goalkeeper is injured for Costa Rica. Barantes in goal is hurt.
Hermedio Barantes, his 22nd appearance for the national side. And will get some immediate attention. The backup keeper for Costa Rica is Eric Lonis, who was brilliant for Costa Rica in the win over the United States 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have two quite fine goalkeepers in these two, Barantes and Lonis. Barantes, as we said, played in the 1-0 loss to Guatemala, but he looks like he's pulled maybe a hamstring or something. There's certainly a muscle problem in the back of his leg.
Might be just a cramp. Maybe just a cramp. We're into injury time, and what with all the controversy around what was first the red card to Friedel, then turned into the yellow card, we will have a little bit of time added on here.
Well, there is a clash in front of goal here, and I think it was
Lassiter was there.
Yeah, Lassiter was there, so whatever it is, it seems to be okay. That's good news. Good player. Important game. You don't want to see him players go out with injuries.
Yaphet Soto, Jones helping out Mike Burns. Ty had mentioned earlier the need for the U.S. to regroup on that side and give Mike some help against the speedy Soto, and there Kobe was doing it. Wilmer Lopez with the throw and into the sun. Eddie Pope unchallenged.
Well, a lot of time will be added on here because of all the stoppages, the controversy about the foul, or the handball by Friedel, and the yellow cards and so forth. So we probably have 2 or 4 minutes to play yet in this half.
Solis, there is Lalas holding his ground, but it comes to Soto, trying to lift it. Jones challenging. Lopez to Gomez, number 16. Dropped back to shot by Solis. And Mike Burns with a right-footed lead.
U.S. giving it away here, though. They need to keep possession. Costa Rica now trying to get the equalizer late in the half. The U.S. need possession here.
Pope challenging. It comes to Soto. A lead. Hernan Medford is offside. Well, Barantes went down a few moments ago in that tussle in front of his own goal.
And it looks like it might have been one of his own players who got him in the back. As the ball drops down into the goal, and he slides right through him. And that's where the injury came, not from the challenge by Lassiter.
Hermedio Barantes beaten by McBride. The 17th minute, the only goal so far. McBride in the air once again. Lopez with a left foot. Reyna wins another ball. McBride kicked by the captain, Gonzalez.
Well, that's a battle all day as they get up shaking hands. It's the third foul by Gonzalez on him. You see the late tackle coming in.
48th minute. Third minute of injury time added on.
A yellow card to Soto.
So Soto gets the first card for Costa Rica, the 4th card of the first half.
Probably for saying something to the referee. We're now almost into the 4th minute of time added on.
Kobe Jones. Lopez. And a goal kick. Daikio.
We've got some emotional battles going on here, one-on-one confrontations. We mentioned the one between Mike Burns and Yaphet Soto earlier. Soto just got a yellow card. They were glaring at each other face to face, and then Soto went after Kobe Jones right in front of the referee, but also Kobe Jones in his own battle down this right side. Very intimate, in a fever pitch, a very emotional, physical play coming into the game.
Wanchope, number 9. Still on the ball. Reyna tries to get the foot in front. Gomez coming through the area and put out. Stewart from behind.
Boy, Ernie Stewart saving the day there because again the defense very badly beaten. 3 players, Pope and Lalas, victimized beautifully by the run by Wanchope.
Medford will take the corner. Lifted out, put right back in and blocked down. And we are at halftime of a match the U.S. knows that they can hold on, put them through to the final round of qualification for France. A load of tension and pressure on the U.S. side has been lifted a little bit by the McBride goal. We're at the half. We have seen controversy at a U.S. goal here today in Palo Alto. We're at the half with the U.S. on top, 1-0. The U.S. wins. They move through to the final round of qualification towards France in 1998. The U.S. national team will be in action next month. U.S. Cup 97. In Southern California, the opponents Mexico, Peru, and Denmark. You'll see that action on ESPN and ESPN2. We've got the highlights coming up in the first half. McBride's goal, the defense, and a red card that was rescinded against Brad Friedel.
We're into the future. We're into the now.
This season, it's the gift to get.
Welcome back, along with Seamus Mallon. I'm Bob Lee. Ty Keogh reporting today from the sidelines. This is not over with Costa Rica's ability to counterattack and their speed that we have seen on the flanks.
Well, it's a tremendous game for the fans. Action at both ends of the field. It's a nightmare for coaches, of course. That's where they get the big bucks after all. But I think there have been so many incidents that this game could have been about 3-3 or 3-1. You never know. But the U.S. has looked good in patches of play and looks a little bit dangerous on defense. But a great ball you saw there by Raynor Stewart, a first-time cross, and the Karen comes right to McBride, who seems to know exactly where to go, hits it off the goalkeeper's hand, and a terrific opportunity for McBride to get this start and then to score.
And Brad Friedel, touching the ball with his momentum coming out of the area, originally handed the red card. But then after a consultation, it was rescinded.
Right. The correct decision because his momentum carried him out. He wasn't outside the area deliberately handing the ball to stop a player rushing through. And now Alexi Lala is having to fight his way free to get a chance to head this ball, and incredibly it comes right to him. He gets over the top of everybody, but the keeper, Parantes, makes an amazing save. And he can't believe it because he did all the hard work to get open, got the head on the ball, and no goal.
A total of 16 fouls in his first half, each side with 7 shots. Brad Friedel, well, he's been saved by the referee's assistant. That's the one save. He is in this match. We are still 11 aside, and the USA is in the lead.
Welcome to Sam's Satellite City. May I help you?
I'm interested in DBS.
Direct broadcast satellite. You'll need a dish, a receiver, decoders, and converters, connectors, various and sundry electronic components.
I need all this.
This will get you started. Say, how many TVs do you have?
3.
Well then, you're just going to need a few more things, aren't you? There you go. Of course, this doesn't include your monthly subscription fees.
That costs extra?
And if you still want to watch local network programming, you'll also need a regular antenna. We have an excellent selection of regular antennas.
Sharp brings you the world of big events. The big bowl games, concerts, the championship games, the playoffs, title fights, hit movies. Big on Sharp Vision. Sharp's incredible LCD projection system. So flexible it zooms from 20 inches to a spectacular 12.5 feet. So portable it takes the home theater experience anywhere and takes you right to the middle of the action. So come in for a demonstration because it doesn't get any more exciting than this.
See the specialist. Parts in stereo and video. The Green Bay Packers. What makes this team one of the most unique franchises in sports history? An all-new Outside the Lines takes you inside Titletown, USA. Tomorrow at 7:30, only on ESPN.
And on that day, a team of men was assembled to battle the forces of evil. Au revoir.
Hi, this is Chris Myers in Los Angeles. Join me later today. We'll talk football with former head coach Sam Weish. We'll see you up close at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Today's World Cup 98 qualification match is brought to you by MasterCard, the official card of U.S. Soccer, U.S. Youth Soccer, and World Cup 98. By Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. And by United Airlines. Come fly the airline that is uniting the world.
U.S. on top, 1-0. The big decision in the first half, the rescinding of the red card issued by that man, Francisco Borja, the referee, turning it into a yellow. But as we said, 16 fouls scored or in the books in this first half. CONCACAF officiating very much an issue in this round of qualification. There have been some very, very physical games. The Confederation is called CONCACAF. You could even call it CONCA-Crash.
Physical play, the trademark of USA matches against CONCACAF opponents. In these qualifiers, it has been the red, white, and black and blue. November 3rd, Guatemalan defender Ivan Leon plumbed the depths of diabolical defensive play. He clotheslined Joe Max Moore. He elbowed Ramos. He whiplashed Thomas Dooley from behind, and he went in very high on Kobe Jones. And despite all of those incidents, Leon was never even shown the yellow card. The cards came out for Mike Burns in a defensive mode there against the player. And then the next match, Trinidad and Tobago took aim on Eric Winalda and also on sweeper Thomas Dooley. It was a brutal game. And, of course, the tackle that was never whistled a foul that ended the year for Tab Ramos. And the Costa Rican fans, even after Team 1, that threw all sorts of debris at U.S. players.
Part of the storyline of qualification today. Today, our Bud game summary. McBride, the goal. We've had 4 cards shown. They're all yellow. Barantes, 5 saves. Friedel yet to make a save. And we're set for the second half of action. United States with the 1 goal.
Well, Bob, controversy is not new to this matchup. The last time the USA played Costa Rica here in the World Cup qualifier, 89, Costa Rica had 2 goals disallowed, lost the game 1-0, and missed a penalty kick. And so they were very unhappy then. I'm sure they're equally unhappy at halftime here, but they're still very much in it.
Stewart reversing to Kobe Jones, bad first touch, and now it comes out to Paulo Cesar, Juan Chope, number 9, but Burns is there. Before 1989, you go back to 1985, Costa Rica knocked the U.S. out of qualification, looking to go to Mexico in the final match. A Costa Rican victory in the States sent the U.S. out. So there is a long history in a very dead-even series. But the U.S. has the edge in this match. If they win, they move forward to play in the next round, where the odds are they'll also see Costa Rica again as well, along with Mexico, Canada, Jamaica, and El Salvador. Jones with the foot for Lassiter.
Well, foul there from the back. Looked for a minute like it wasn't going to be given.
U.S. Soccer and ESPN would like to thank Kodak and all the other U.S. Soccer sponsors for allowing today's game action to be brought to you commercial-free. Jeff Agus in front for Lassiter. Save Barantes.
Terrific piece of play as Costa Rica slept over here on the side with a throw-in. Very casual play by the Costa Rican defense, and actually this frees Agus to get the cross in. As you see, just very loose challenging, and a nice tuck in by Lassiter. Didn't quite squeeze in by the post.
He's had a tough day. 2 misses, several offsides. Medford. And Agus wins that ball. Reyna distributes to Ernie Stewart, who puts it up the wing and out.
Lassiter getting into a good position here. Agus spots him, puts a nice near post ball in, and a good touch on there by Lassiter.
Friedel off his line. You see the problem with the sunshine and the shadows. It won't be long before the entire playing field will be in shadow. And there are no lights here at Palo Alto Stadium at Stanford. Wilmer Lopez, who had the second goal against the United States 2 weeks ago. Gomez. Juan Chope offside.
Gomez has taken up an interesting position now, Bob. He's come back into the middle of the field. supposed to be a forward, Ronald Gomez, number 16, but he comes back up, and Soto, the dangerous number 10 player, is very definitely on attack. As is that man, Wanchope. One of the most exciting players to come out of this playoff has been Wanchope, and I think some MLS teams will be very interested in trying to get Paulo Wanchope.
We play on, bicycled out by Oscar Ramirez, number 14. U.S. in possession with Ernie Stewart. McBride comes down the middle. Lassiter's on the far side as well. Stewart still on the ball. Ernie Stewart. We play on. McBride tried to tackle it away on the box.
Well, that was a great run by Stewart. Got a bit of a lucky break, but good defense by Costa Rica.
And free kick now for Costa Rica. Alexi Lawless retreating. Steve Sampson. Utter, total concentration and concern. McBride. As Barantes comes over, we would like to welcome to our booth a man who would rather be right down there in the red, white, and blue right now, Eric Winalda.
Yeah, you bet. It's just, right now it's a game that's going our way, but we could play a little bit better.
Their speed is scary.
Yeah, that was one of our concerns, that these two guys, they like to come from the wings and cut in behind us, and with that kind of speed, you always have to be wary of it. So the guys are doing a great job on them right now. They're closing down the spaces and making it difficult for them to play.
Jeff Agus challenging. Medford on the ball. And there's Friedel. What about the combination up front of Lassiter and McBride?
Oh, very impressive. I think both of them are. This is what we need to do, though. You know, the way they focus on the flanks, and we're allowed to play. See, that's what we weren't able to do down in Costa Rica, but.
Well, that is the U.S. game taking it wide.
Yeah, I mean, we got, Ernie has done a great job today. I mean, he hasn't been involved as much in the last couple of games, and to see him get down the wings and cause problems for defenses, that's what we need from him. Kobe's doing the same. That's how he actually scored the goal. So look for more of that, and we'll be successful today. They seem to be trying to pull the trap on us on the United States, too, a little bit. And of course, against Roy and his anxiety to get forward, he's gotten trapped a few times. Yeah, I'm expecting that from them. Yeah, that's, Gonzalez, they're getting in us. See, that's the kind of tackling we need to do today.
Soto goes down. The shot saved by Friedel as he had it all the way.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think when they try and pull a trap, it only takes one time. I mean, we've seen Roy get in once in the first half. He'd like to have that one back. But he gets behind once more, I would expect a goal. So they're risking a little bit here.
Claudio Reyna, he takes it wide. And the U.S. throw it.
Much more focused intensity in the U.S. team today. That is the word, yeah. Focus. You can tell in all they're really doing the business today. Everybody seems to be on the same page and doing their jobs today, and it looks like a very focused group.
We saw some U.S. players beginning to warm up. Mike Sorber among them, which would be a defensive substitution should he come in. Obi Jones with the cross behind Lassiter. Solis foul.
Boy, that one slipped through. Ernie Stewart was ghosting in beautifully behind some players who lost him, and it just didn't run for him.
Ramirez with a lead. Burns with Soto.
That's a great tackle.
Fair tackle. Ramirez overrun by Kobe, and now Alexi.
You can see it, though. The boys have an urgency to get there first today. They don't want to let them play and create things. So you see everybody trying to get to the ball as quickly as possible, make it hard for them. And that's the result right there. When you play that kind of defense, they're not going to play well. Well, Burnsy does a good tackle here, but a lot of it is because he made the run early and stayed with Soto. But then a very difficult tackle to make as Soto is just about to cut in on him. I think Mike Burns has had a pretty good game now after some early tough going.
And a card will be shown to Ronaldo Gomez for that foul on Claudio Reyna. And it comes to the 53rd minute. Claudio went down. You could hear him cry out.
That's late. That's late. Yep. Good reaction from everybody, though. Everybody, quickly jumping on it to make sure the referee knows that they're not happy about that.
Have you ever seen a red card rescinded?
Actually, yes, once. and that's in all my years of soccer. So I think it was a decision that took a lot of courage. because I think he realized that it was the correct decision, and it was very untimely for us if it would have been gone the other way.
Mike Burns with a ball for John Harkes. Kobe.
That's it.
With Reyna behind him. Kobe Jones. Lassiter in front. And a goal kick. We're talking about the rescinding of a red card originally shown to Brad Friedel in the first half for handling the ball outside the penalty area. It was turned into a yellow after the referee consulted with one of the referee assistants, formerly known as a linesman, and Senor Borja pulled back the red and turned it into a yellow. Kobe in the air. There's the captain. Gonzalez, number 4. Soto with that speed. And a foul by Lawless. And Yapet Soto down in pain. Looking for a card, perhaps.
I'd like to see that one again.
Yeah.
Well, I think in this case that Alexi seemed to come up and the ball bounced for him and bounced away from him. And he just, I think his knee came through and caught Soto.
So just the foul, no card shown. Lawless playing with a yellow from a prior match. Gomez over the ball for the free kick for Costa Rica. See Medford looking for position in front.
Great job.
Lawless at the 6. Wilmer Lopez back on it. Medford, the cross. Friedel can't control it. Loose and he pulls it in with Juan Chope in front.
I tell you, we have two of the best goalkeepers in the world. Unbelievable. Well, Brad Friedel is nothing if not competitive. He's got terrific desire to play. This is a difficult ball. He's got to stretch to get it, and he dives courageously at the feet and then gets the rebound. And the U.S. players, I think, all feeling that play was offside. But the first time in a while, he's gotten by Burns.
U.S. on the attack as Friedel pulled that in on the replay. We're back in with the U.S. working in the Costa Rican box. Stewart challenging as we play on, and Ramirez tries to clear. McBride's goal, the only of the game. We're in the 56th minute with the U.S. on top of Costa Rica. Eric Winalda has joined us up here on the booth. Ty Keown reporting from the sidelines in a critical match. We said at the top, probably the most important match in 7 years for the U.S. It's the one in Trinidad, which put them through to Italia in 1990. U.S. not looking to settle on the last game against Guatemala. On the attack now, here comes Medford, deflected by Agus. Gomez, ever dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Wilmer Lopez teased it off block.
Well, Eddie Pope saved the day for the U.S. They're covering up behind Lexi's rush out to the front, and also Agus did well. Jeff Agus has grown and grown as a United States player. He just keeps getting better and better, and almost one of those people you have to rely on now from game to game.
Backlit by the sun here.
Yeah, and we talked about Jeff being a key player today at the top, that his kind of intensity and his intelligence, really, he's really a very perceptive player. It was a key factor, and he's done the job so far.
Soto running well after that tussle about 5 minutes ago. Leads it back for Gomez. Back to Yapet Soto.
Offside.
And the lead offside for Juan Chope, and you could see one developing. That's...
Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, Alexi is so vocal back there. He gets everybody on the same page, and that's a great result for us to have us be so in sync and pull them off like that, especially with these guys who are trying to get behind us like that. So we looked really good back there today.
Let's send it down to Ty Keown.
Brian McBride playing very well. He's been dominant in the air. He's looking a bit tired. Joe Max Moore, my guess, will be the player to come on and replace Brian McBride. And, of course, Joe Max Moore adds all kinds of experience to the U.S. attack.
Thanks, Ty. Whistle for handball.
You know how we've opened it up here? There it is.
Long ball by Lawless.
A little short.
Stewart was making a run. McBride is challenging. McBride dominant in the air with the goal. His first start.
You assisted on his first national team goal in the final minutes against Guatemala.
Yeah, I mean, it was very important for him, I think, that we had talked about it before and after the game about him getting his first goal.
Well, he has that and his second today as Hermedio Barantes comes out.
Well, Lassiter's fast, but he's not that fast, and Archie knows that he overhit that one a little bit. But Lassiter is one of these guys who just runs and runs and runs. He does a tremendous amount of work for you as a ball carrier when you're behind him. He just doesn't show and wait. He really is looking for ways to put some threat on the defense with his run.
Eddie Pope comes up to win that ball. And now Stewart.
Kobe Joe.
Hart, there he is. Kobe on the far side.
Good run, John.
Hart's behind him to his right now. There's Archie, the captain in front, looking for Lassiter. McBride with Barantes in front.
Get in there.
Stewart is deflected wide.
Well, you can see on the far side, John Hart's putting his hand over his eyes because just at the crucial moment to finish that play, he had to cross it. And the sun was very much in his eyes. You look, he's looking up, he gets the ball over, just slightly over, hits it. But I got to say, Lassiter does a marvelous job pulling that ball back from the far post.
That's what we need to see, though. I mean, that's a developed play that you know, it requires a lot of running from a guy like John, but he's done it, and he got in behind him and created a great chance. So
Lawless moves up on the set piece. Harksey takes the corner. And a throw in for the U.S. in the 60th minute. It's important to get the job done today.
Definitely. I think, I don't know if you guys heard what I said before the game, but we want to qualify. We want to do it today. And I think that's the sentiments of everybody is here today.
Get it. Center flick on Lawless. Barantes. Yes, goal! Roy Lassiter.
Gotta love it. Good for him.
Oh, man.
So close, so many times today, so many opportunities, and finally a goal.
Well, a lot of damage done in here by Lawless. Let's Lawless make the challenge here. And the finish by Lassiter, who's so athletic. I mean, a ball up near his shoulder, no trouble. Good challenge by Lassiter, by good old Lawless, and Lassiter finishes it.
That's how important it is right there.
The keeper, give him credit, he made the first save, a very good save, a courageous save on Alexi Lawless, who must be a thing to worry about as he's hurtling towards you. But Lassiter on the doorstep, as all good finishers have to be, puts it away.
A world of difference between 1-0 and 2-0 as Reyna goes down in a collision with Solis.
Boy, that's a big relief. I mean, it took us a long time to get that second goal against Guatemala and a long time against Trinidad, but this one's come a little bit earlier, and I'm going to let I hope that these guys just keep a hold of it, you know. This is a great result for us at this point.
What about the atmosphere here today, Eric? I had a long talk with John Hart yesterday. He was very passionate, almost angry at times, about times when the U.S. national team will play domestically and yet be outrooted by the crowd for the opposition.
I mean, that's something that, you know, we as players accept that America is a melting pot. And these people come out and they want to support their team. But these people they're Costa Rican Americans now. And it's our job as players to win them over. I mean, eventually these people are going to realize that when they play against us, they're going to lose. So you're better off supporting us.
Well, our Bud scoring summary, Roy Lassiter, Lawless in front, the 60th minute, and a 2-0 U.S. lead.
Well, 2 of our 3 questions at the top of the broadcast have been answered, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Nice ball by Medford on the backfield, trying to play it to himself when we play on.
That would have worked down in Costa Rica for sure, though.
Eric, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you taking the time, and we hope to. Do you know if you plan to play in the final match of this round? If it's meaningless, essentially.
Well, I've been nursing an injury that could use some repair. So hopefully, if things end this way, I'll be able to do that and be ready for the next set of qualifiers. But I wouldn't want to be Guatemalan right now.
We'll see you at U.S. Cup. Thanks again.
You bet. All right.
Okay. Eric Guadaldo spending some time with us here at Sanford Stadium in Palo Alto as the U.S. On top 2-0, Ernie Stewart now waits for the ball. Ernie Stewart with Lassiter in front. McBride makes a cross. Parks through ball. Onside, Lassiter off the post. And the rebound, Lopez calmly moves it out to Soto.
But Lassiter again showing now the composure that we'd hoped to see from him after those offside shot calls. Did not let them bother him. Held up his run beautifully, got in, got the shot. Didn't quite finish it as we saw, but he's just brimming with confidence here. Picks out the spot he wants, just misses it a little bit.
What growth? What growth in American soccer that the questions would be defensive and not offensive in a World Cup qualifier.
That's right.
Substitutions coming. Alan Oviedo, number 7, will be coming on, as well as Roy Myers, number 11, and Mitford and Soto will be leaving.
Well, it's interesting that, as we said, these questions you raised at the top have been answered. McBride and Lassiter, could they fill in the shoes of Winalda? Joe Max, unqualified, yes. Although you probably have noticed in the last 15, 20 minutes or so, McBride has not been winning the head balls, and I think Eric Winalda is right. He's a bit tired.
McBride shades his eye, sends it in, looking for Lassiter, a low cross. We've got rodeo action coming up Friday, 12:30 Eastern time in the morning. $3.2 million at stake. The PRCA National Finals Rodeo, Friday through Sunday on ESPN2.
Well, this is such an intense rivalry, Bob. We're going to see more of this if both of these teams qualify into the final round, which I think is a reasonable possibility now. And the U.S. has had a tough time with Costa Rica. We've only beaten them twice in the 1990s out of 7 tries.
Lassiter and McBride. There goes Bryant. McBride for Lassiter. Overran the ball a touch.
Boy, this crowd's really into it, Bob. This is a real, great American crowd.
Something the team wanted, the players wanted. America, this is your team. And if they play in your area, you do these men a favor by coming out to cheer for them and see them play.
Tough break there. Great piece of work by Pope to Lawless all the way forward to Jones. There's all offside.
66 minutes at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto on ESPN2. Goals by Brian McBride and Roy Lassiter. Sam's Army is happy, and so are all American soccer fans with the USA on top 2-0 over Costa Rica. If this result holds, the U.S. will qualify for the final round of CONCACAF qualification. Already through Mexico, Canada, Jamaica, and El Salvador.
And you cannot overestimate, you cannot say enough for that second goal, because that changes the game completely. Costa Rica can see right now that the edge has gone out of their play a little bit. They will have to take some risks if they want to try to go forward. That leaves opportunities for the U.S. to counterattack, but there's just not a lot of urgency at the moment.
Lawless out of trouble. Goose slices it out of the air. Costa Rica. Wilmer Lopez, number 6. 14, Oscar Ramirez. Roy Myers overrun as Stewart comes back on defense. And instructions being yelled out from the U.S. bench for the American players. Tykeo, what is Steve Sampson thinking right now?
Bob, it's highly critical that the U.S. team establish that they can be dominant at home, because they will face this Costa Rican team again in the next round.
McBride over the top.
Right now, Steve Sampson's comment to the team is we need to hold the ball. They want to get into the habit of being able to protect a lead, spread the ball around, and frustrate Costa Rica as Costa Rica tries to get back into this game.
Well, Costa Rica with a bit of an unhappy break for them, I think. Rough justice for them. That was an offside situation, but referee waved the flag off.
And it was deflected out to the corner.
Yeah, McBride with a shot and goal. Actually, he had Eggers inside him, who steamed all the way in the penalty area. And, I think, gosh, you give it to Jeff Eggers having a shot on goal after the game he's played. But McBride went himself.
Who's on the corner, the in-swinger. We had a whistle on a push in front again. Might have been Lawless.
Yeah, it's Lawless. And Lawless, of course, claimed that he was being pulled by the shirt.
Ran into Alexi this morning about 7 o'clock, went out to get the papers. He was pacing. He says, boy, I'm pumped today. I can't sleep. And I said, a lot of the guys seem that way. And he says, you're darn right. And they have played that way today.
Well, Alexi has gotten stronger and stronger as the game went on. He's doing the leadership stuff back there, pulling people offside, and he's got Eddie Pope, the speedster, to help him.
Got off by Agus, who has played a marvelous match. Reyna, who has been winning those balls we talked about at the top of the show. Roy Myers, number 11. Lopez. There's Solis. Put away from Oviedo. Jones, the ball. Too far for Hart, but he's back on it. John Hart, look at that work to win that ball and control it. Brian McBride now looking for Lassiter. These two front runners have done a marvelous job, especially in the second half. And the U.S. still on it with Stewart. Wide for McBride.
Well, and the crowd loves it because this is an attack-minded U.S. team. And the last time these fans saw the United States play here, it was a 1-0 loss to Brazil in World Cup '94, in which there was, of course, a different challenge and a different style. But they've come a long way in their change of style to a more attack-minded mentality in 2 years.
Lawless high. Only Lawless, Jones, and Stewart playing today also played on that match on this pitch against Brazil on July 4th, 1994. That was a crowning moment for U.S. soccer to get through to the second round. Already Steve Sampson has set the goal in '98. In France, it's the third round in a 32-team field. Jeff Agus.
Great ball from Agus.
Reversing play to Brian McBride. Kobe behind him. That's Kobe to the Sunland corner. Goose in front, couldn't get there. U.S. dominating this match, controlling it right now, leading it 2-0. Looking to render the match with Guatemala just academic. Now, should the U.S. win this match, and should they lose to Guatemala while Trinidad beat Costa Rica would be eliminated. That's a far-fetched scenario.
It is, I think. Yeah, Costa Rica, if they lose this game 2-0 or 3-0 or whatever, will not get a point today, obviously, but they still have the comfort of knowing they've got Trinidad and Tobago to play at home. And given how Trinidad and Tobago have collapsed, essentially, from being a competitor to being an also-ran, that shouldn't be a problem.
Lopez with a lift. Stewart very calmly puts it there for Friedel with Gomez in front. Tomorrow night, NFL football on ESPN. Seattle and Jacksonville. Jaguars 7-7, very much alive for a wild card. Mark Brunell at the helm of the AFC's best offense. 8 o'clock Eastern, right after NFL primetime. Boomer and the gang with all the highlights of all the games on ESPN. Offside flag is up. These two nations, a little bit of ill will considering what happened, the treatment of the U.S. delegation and the team 13 days ago down at Carlos Saprissa Stadium in Costa Rica. Objects were thrown, spit, urine was thrown, wire on one occasion, a watermelon was thrown at Eric Manola, who told me about this the other day. Had to sidestep that. A very violent atmosphere, uncontrolled by the authorities there. And the Costa Rican Federation has been fined 10,000 Swiss francs because of a lack of security. And that's an issue for the U.S. Yep. They have lodged some paperwork with FIFA to protest what happened down there.
And, of course, they may have to go back and play there. So they'll be going back into a cauldron in the next round if this all holds up. And Costa Rica gets through, and the U.S. gets through. But the most important thing, I think, today is that the U.S. set up and did what they had to do. They survived some scary moments early on from the fast-running attackers of Costa Rica, but they got outside, and they got goals from their front runners.
Brian McBride. For Kobe Jones. Roy Myers, number 11, who's come on as a substitute in the second half. Jeff Agus again. That ball right there, that play typifies his afternoon. Down at a peak with Oscar Ramirez. And on the restart, we have another whistle, and they'll start it again.
Well, Agus, I think, has been so huge because he is so active. He's proactive. He anticipates things. He does not allow his man in front of him to receive the ball easily, and that's a big plus.
Lopez looking down the middle here. Burns. Kobe Jones wide. Solis chasing. Let's check in with Tyrone.
Watching from field level here, it's so evident that John Hart at midfield for the USA providing the kind of commitment and leadership by example that you'd want out of a captain.
Juan Chope lays it off. Lopez can't get it into the area, laid back. Roy Myers challenged by the captain, Harks. Harks called for the foul. About 23 yards out.
Well, Johnny's got a yellow at the moment. He's going to be careful not to get tossed out of here for excessive disputing the referee's decision. But again, good play by Jeff Agus in there when that ball was in dangerous position. Agus did not overcommit.
Over the top with the left foot of Ronaldo Gomez in the 74th minute.
Well, there's Harks with the yellow card. As we mentioned, if he got a second, he would be tossed out and have to sit out a game. Of course, that would mean he would sit out the Guatemala game, which, by the looks of it, will be unimportant.
That also means the U.S. will play a man down, so while there might be a strategy for some players to gain cards here to sit out that match, Lawless, nice bit of control. Now Medford wins the ball. And Myers, watched by Stewart. Ramirez, Roy Myers, number 11. Who's watching Ramirez? Lawless is there to put it out for the throw-in. 75th minute.
Well, safety first clearance, but good work by Stewart coming back. He's had a very good game today, defending as well as going one-on-one, but so has Agus.
There's Goose in the middle of that play. Lopez back to Ramirez. Over comes Kobe Jones at the edge of the area. Lopez puts it to the far post. Header, goal! Gomez, a man on a mission to get this game restarted as Costa Rica breaks through.
Well, finally the defense cracked. As you see the player getting the very intelligent swerving cross in there. And Gomez, very tall, finds the seam in the defense. And really no chance for Friedel. That came over so fast, it was a driven ball. So now the U.S. has to play out the last 15 minutes in a difficult situation.
Burns touches it back to Friedel. So the two-goal cushion is gone. Gomez in the 76th minute. It's now a 2-1 match, and now Costa Rica, you can see the energy now, and they're playing the concern in Steve Sampson's countenance. No cushion anymore. As the captain, Gonzalez, cleans it back. Javier Delgado, number 13. Myers. McBride wins it. Reyna. And Harks looking again for Lassiter, and he's offside.
Well, we talked about the possession situation. It's even more crucial right now because the margin has been narrowed. Costa Rica does have the players who can do the individual thing and beat you individually, so you've got to be sure to win the ball, hold it, take time off the clock.
Gomez, Myers, Lopez, goose in the box away from Solis. Stewart, nice touch, nice ball. Can he play it again? Yes, he can. There's Lassiter. He's fouled.
Well, 2 late fouls in a row there. And
Stewart is down as
nothing
well.
given against Stewart. The Stewart foul should be a yellow.
And Ramirez will draw a yellow. Or is it Ramirez? No. It's Marine receiving the yellow in the 77th minute.
Well, a good clearance by Harks. By Agus. Now watch his touch here, and then the late challenge. And Ernie Stewart is the one who is hurt. And that is not good for the U.S. Did you see it again? Very definitely a late tackle, and then another late one on Lassiter. So 2 late chops in a row and 1 yellow card.
Marine gets the yellow. Lassiter is up. So is Stewart.
Well, this is a real challenge for the U.S. They look to be in total command. They let down their guard at one point when the cross came in after they hadn't cleared. And the central defense wasn't up to it. And this time, and all of a sudden, now it's a real battle.
McBride in the air. McBride, tried to play it forward there, and Lopez. To Gonzalez. Mike Burns in a forest of black jerseys will get the throw in. Less than 12 minutes, plus whatever time is added on in what is now, once again, a one-goal match. Kobe Jones. John Hart's back for Kobe. And a Costa Rican throw-in. Costa Rican counterattack. Solis looking for Myers. Agus is there. Lots of space now for Ernie Stewart. Claudio Reyna. And a U.S. throw-in. Our Bud scoring summary. McBride early on assisted by Stewart. Lassiter in the 60th minute. And then Gomez, the header at the far post on the cross, making it once again a one-goal match.
Keep the ball, though. We got to keep the ball.
You can hear the voice of Steve Sampson. Keep the ball. We need the ball. Ernie Stewart there in a square dance, linking arms. And a free kick for the U.S.
Well, I think Parks is trying to signal to the bench that we need a substitution for someone. I don't think it's for himself, but I think maybe for Arena.
Agus plays it short. There's Harks from that patented spot right down the slot where he likes to shoot. In the 80th minute, the U.S. tried to hold on to a one-goal lead, and Joe Max Moore will make an appearance.
Well, that's interesting to see who he comes in for, because they have already McBride and Lassiter up top, and Joe Max traditionally plays back as an attacker, going the withdrawn attacker.
Two nice balls. The second by McBride, who's back on it, exchanging with Lassiter. Nice touch by the U.S. Harks with a ball. Here's Ernie Stewart. Goose behind him. There's Jeff Agus. Stewart went down behind that play again. Harks for Kobe Jones. The captain Harks. Two men near the box and play it back to Burns. U.S. in possession. That is the critical thing. The ball is everything with a one-goal lead. A victory puts the U.S. through. A lead for Ernie Stewart in the area.
That was very good play by the U.S. Good possession, swinging around. That's more like it. And this is more like it, too. Agus again.
And Reyna with Agus. Squares it off to the captain Harks. Kobe Jones. Lassiter in front along with McBride. Behind McBride. Oh, he had Stewart running on. But he pushed it away from him. Wallace gets a foot in. So does Reyna. The U.S. wanting possession. They have possession at this point. And a throw-in. NCAA women's volleyball coming along Thursday, December 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern and 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Championship on Saturday, December 21st, here on ESPN2. Claudio Reyna, who has worked and worked all afternoon, will sit, and Joe Max Moore will come on.
Well, Joe Max certainly gives you a huge amount of running ability, energy, good skill, and not quite the depth of skill, if you will, as Reyna.
But fresh legs.
But fresh legs.
Gomez. Ronaldo Gomez. Lawless is there. Lawless pulled down from behind and fouled. Gomez, Lawless, edge of the area. Might have caught a cleat as well.
40,527.
They've just announced the attendance. 40,527, and that's quite a tribute to the soccer fans of the San Francisco Bay Area. Very pro-American, festive atmosphere here today, something this team had wanted. Harks, Stewart. Ernie Stewart. The three mates in the box. Not yet cleared. Harks runs on. Oh!
Boy, Johnny Harks has had one of the best games I've seen him play. He's been an absolute superb leader in midfield.
Reminiscent of Copa America.
Yeah, he's really been superb in midfield for them. The goals have come from other players, but he has been tremendous, as has Ernie Stewart.
We'll see Jovan Karofsky coming on for Kobe Jones, who has been working very hard down the right side. So Jovan comes on and Kobe will take a seat. And how interesting it is in a one-goal match. Steve Sampson makes two players, two substitutions of players, bringing on Joe Maxmore, Jovan Karofsky, offensive-minded players, but players who can control the ball, but nonetheless offensive players.
Very definitely so. Players who can control the play, and that's what they need. They need ball possession, and they've got 7 minutes or so to go in this game, and we'd love to get a third goal, but the most important thing is to keep that defense tight, and they are tired too. Here's a quick corner kick, dangerous play.
Ramirez on the cross. Pope got ahead to it. Or did he? No, it was a Costa Rican.
Yeah, it was Gomez, the man who's been so dangerous. Clearly the best player, I think, today for Costa Rica has been Gomez. He did get the goal, but that's not the reason. He did a tremendous amount of work in midfield before going into a more advanced position. Gomez has been terrific for them, a real threat, more consistently so than the players on the outside.
We'll see how much time will be added on in the second half, in which each team has scored, but the U.S. up 2-1. Roy Myers gets past Stewart, able to control it. Deflected on the cross. Pope challenging defensively with Medford or Wanchope in front. Let's check in now with Ty Keogh.
We're trying to pick our players of the game, the Snickers player of the game for the USA, Brian McBride. He provided that first goal, of course, to really change the complexion of this game for the USA, take some of the pressure off. But also, he's won nearly every head ball and dominated the defenders of Costa Rica in terms of air play. And every time he has a throw in, he's very dangerous on the throw as well. So Snickers player of the game for the USA, Brian McBride, his first start ever for the USA. And for the Costa Ricans, the Snickers player of the game has been Ronald Gomez, their number 16, who's been very dangerous in the attacking midfield coming forward.
All right, Ty. In fact, Gomez at the far post with the goal that has made this very interesting in the second half. Closing it back down to a one-goal match. Wanchope, who has been quiet in the second half, but is explosive. Harks gets a touch. Lawless is over to gather up the ball. You can see fatigue playing a part, but Harks still able to challenge and get that critical touch to keep Wanchope off stride.
Yeah, well, they need to get some of these fresh players back against the dangerous front runners as well, because Harks is exhausted, and indeed Agus has got to be a little bit tired too.
Roy Myers gets past McBride, watched by Stewart. Collision with Agus at the edge of the area. Free kick for Costa Rica.
Well, this is an interesting call. He played the ball in behind the defense and then went after it and crashed into the U.S. defenders as Lawless was sweeping the ball up behind. The question is, did he crash into them or did they obstruct his pursuit of the ball? The referee has decided it was the latter, and here we go. Is a tense moment for the U.S. with just over 3 minutes to go, and nursing it very, very gingerly a 2-1 lead.
Ronald Gonzalez, number 4, far post. Pope was there, and so a corner kick for Costa Rica.
Boy, that was crucial, Bob. Very crucial for Eddie Pope to be there.
Oviedo, number 7. Headed high by Gomez. Riedel, as you mentioned earlier, has been a stay-at-home keeper on these crosses today.
I'm a little surprised that he has not been coming for some of these balls. They've been hit with some pace.
Loose in front, Wanchope. Lawless blocks it, still loose. Big play by Lawless. There is Gomez trying to tee it up in a collision with Hart. Penalty kick. No, not called.
No penalty kick.
Referee seemed to point near the spot, was pointing as it went over the end line. Now here comes the referee assistant to run on.
Referee assistant is just coming on to help restore order. He's got nothing to say about this play. There was no penalty kick given. There's a terrific scramble here, all kinds of kicking going on for the ball. And let's see if there is a foul in here. No, not so. The ball ran away from him. He lost control of it, and then the contact after that was incidental, and the referee was quite right not to give a penalty kick there.
But he pointed.
He pointed to the line saying go kick, but it is confusing. Yes, it is.
40,000 people for a moment. The American fans thought they might have been looking at a PK, as that is a collision controlled by Roy Myers, and a foul against Myers, and a free kick for the U.S. Nothing is coming easy today.
Now, this game could have been wrapped up by the U.S. They're really wilting at the moment, no question. They've got to reach back now and find just a little bit more energy to play this game out. And I think some of the players who come in to help out got to drop a little bit deeper, because the U.S. needs some help at the back right now.
Friedel looking at get it out of his area, out of his end, out of trouble. He's seen a lot of it lately.
I don't mean that these players should drop back like Karowski should drop back into the back four, but certainly they should show themselves ready to play in midfield a defensive role and not just simply a counterattacking role.
We are in the 90th minute. Sam's Army. You can't have a national team match without Sam's Army, and the brigade is here today, fighting the sun, standing the whole match, cheering on their lads. Nice header. Flick on by Stewart. Lassiter fights. Solis settles. We approach time added on here. Agus and Wanchope throw in Costa Rica.
Wanchope is still so dangerous, and Agus in a difficult situation, 1 against 1 out there the whole time with not a lot of protection or defense behind him.
So Moore missed that tackle. Wanchope holds off a defender and put out by Agus. Last deflected off the Costa Rican player, and a critical throw-in for the U.S.
Well, Ernie Stewart came back to help out there. Lexi Lawless may get a delay of game card here if he doesn't take the throw-in quickly.
He has a yellow already. He's being told to throw it in, and here will come a card, and so Lawless gets the yellow.
That's deliberate. I think he wanted that yellow so that he will not have to play them in the next match, but boy, I don't know.
Trouble with that ball in the air as Friedel comes out as we are in injury time. Friedel needed that baseball cap when the sun was higher in the sky, and now the whole pitch obscured in shadow. But the clarity beginning to form on the U.S. World Cup qualification picture if they can hold on to a 1-goal lead and render the last match with Guatemala simply an exercise and getting some experience. Max Moore trying to carry that ball through.
Well, he needs to take it down and possess it, but doesn't matter.
Full time. It is done.